Welcome to Forever in Our Hearts. I'm Matthew. Here, we reflect on the lives of remarkable individuals whose presence changed the world in meaningful ways. Their creativity, strength, and passion continue to inspire millions. Join us as we revisit their journeys across entertainment, culture, and beyond, honoring memories that will live on for generations. Arthur James Gregg was a pioneering American Army officer who built a remarkable career through steady leadership and dedication during a time when opportunities for African American service members were limited. Rising through the ranks over more than 3 decades, he earned recognition for his expertise in military logistics and his ability to improve essential supply and support systems within the Army. In 1972, he made history as the first African-American brigadier general in the Quartermaster Corps, and in 1977, he reached the rank of lieutenant general, becoming one of the highest-ranking African-American officers in U.S. Army history. He later served as Deputy Chief of Staff for Logistics, where his work helped strengthen large-scale military readiness and operations. His career was defined less by public attention and more by consistent excellence and problem-solving leadership. In recognition of his lasting impact, a major Army installation was renamed Fort Gregg Adams, honoring his contributions and legacy. He lived to the age of 96, leaving behind a legacy of progress, professionalism, and expanded opportunity for those who followed in military service. Allan Coe lived a life that never followed a straight or ordinary path. In a country music world often shaped by polished images and predictable careers, he stood out for his raw honesty and rebellious spirit. Born in 1939 in Akron, his early years were difficult, marked by instability and time spent in reform institutions at a young age. Instead of following a typical childhood, he grew up learning survival and independence, and over time, he found music as a way to express everything he had experienced. Songwriting became his outlet, helping him turn struggle, regret, and life lessons into powerful storytelling. After moving to Nashville in the late 1960s, he faced many challenges, even living in unusual circumstances while trying to get noticed. His breakthrough came when his songwriting reached wider audiences, especially after Take This Job and Shove It became a major hit for another artist. This success helped establish his voice in country music. He later became part of the outlaw country movement, known for its unfiltered style and emotional honesty. His work often sparked debate, but it also built a strong following that appreciated his authenticity. In later years, he continued performing despite health challenges, eventually passing away at 86. His legacy remains complex, but he is remembered for living and creating music on his own terms. Randall McNeil, known as DJ Randall, grew up in London and became deeply interested in music during the late 1980s. He was inspired by the rising energy of early acid house and the vibrant atmosphere of events like Notting Hill Carnival. What began as simple curiosity slowly turned into a serious passion, and he spent much of his time learning how to mix and experimenting with new sounds. His early experience in pirate radio and underground parties helped him shape a unique style that felt raw, energetic, and ahead of its time. A turning point in his career came when he unexpectedly stepped in for a missing DJ at a rave called Living Dream. His performance impressed the crowd and quickly established his name in the underground scene. After that, he became a regular presence at major UK rave events and played an important role in the growth of jungle and drum and bass music. Through his sets and productions, including collaborations like Sound Control, he helped push the sound forward in a natural and influential way. Alongside performing, he supported the culture through record labels and radio shows, giving space to new talent and fresh ideas. He stayed active in music for decades, remaining connected to the scene he helped shape. DJ Randall passed away at the age of 54, and his exact cause of death was not publicly shared. His work continues to inspire artists and listeners, and his influence can still be felt in modern drum and bass. Donald W. Riegle Jr. dedicated much of his life to public service in the United States. He passed away at the age of 92 after suffering cardiac arrest at his home in San Diego, marking the end of a long and influential political journey. Over several decades, he built a reputation as a committed lawmaker who focused on issues that directly affected everyday citizens. Born in Flint, Michigan, he developed strong ties to his community early in life, and those roots stayed with him throughout his career. He entered politics in the 1960s and initially served as a Republican before later becoming a Democrat. His long career in Congress spanned nearly 3 decades, during which he worked under multiple U.S. presidents and took part in shaping national discussions on key issues. He was particularly focused on supporting working-class families, improving conditions for veterans, and contributing to policy reforms that aim to strengthen public welfare. Colleagues often described him as someone who stayed connected to ordinary people and remained grounded in the concerns of his hometown. After his passing, tributes came from across his community and flags were flown at half-staff in his honor in Genesee County. His legacy continues to be remembered as one built on steady public service, dedication to constituents, and a long-standing commitment to civic responsibility. Ed Kranepool was one of those players whose career feels closely tied to a single team's entire history. Born on November 8, 1944, in the Castle Hill area of the Bronx, he grew up surrounded by the everyday energy of New York, where baseball was a part of the culture around him. At James Monroe High School, he showed talent in both baseball and basketball, but baseball soon became the path that shaped his future. At just 17 years old, he was signed in 1962 by Met scout Bubba Johnard and made the unusual leap straight into Major League Baseball, becoming one of the youngest players in the league. Over time, he settled mainly at first base, while also filling in as an outfielder when needed, always willing to adapt for the team. What made him stand out most was his loyalty. He stayed with the New York Mets for his entire career, through both difficult rebuilding years and moments of success. His most memorable achievement came in 1969, when he was part of the Miracle Mets, a team that stunned baseball by winning the World Series. By the time he retired in 1979, he was the last active player from the Mets' original roster, closing a chapter that began with the franchise itself. He later passed away due to complications from kidney failure, remembered for his quiet dedication and long-standing commitment to one team. Sally Field was born on November 6, 1946, in Pasadena, California, into a family connected to the entertainment world. Her early life appeared outwardly connected to Hollywood, but behind that surface, she experienced emotional complexity and instability within her home environment. Her parents divorced when she was very young, and her mother later remarried actor and stuntman Jock Mahoney. Growing up in a household shaped by frequent transitions and emotional distance, Sally learned early on how to navigate uncertainty. In later years, she would reflect on her childhood as emotionally challenging, describing a sense of invisibility and longing for stability. These formative experiences did not define her in a limiting way, but they deeply influenced her emotional awareness and sensitivity. They also became the quiet foundation for the empathy she would later bring to her performances, shaping her ability to portray characters with authenticity and emotional truth. First steps into acting. Sally Field's entry into acting was not driven by a calculated ambition for fame, but rather by curiosity and a search for expression. As a teenager, she found herself drawn to performance as a way to step outside her everyday life. Acting became a space where she could explore identity, emotion, and imagination in ways that felt liberating. She studied performance with dedication and persistence, gradually building confidence in her abilities. Early opportunities in television opened doors that would soon transform her life. What set her apart, even in these early years, was her natural emotional openness and ability to connect with audiences. She was not yet a polished star, but she carried an energy that felt genuine and relatable. This authenticity would soon become one of her greatest strengths in an industry often defined by constructed images and manufactured personas. Gidget and early fame. Sally Field's breakthrough came with the television series Gidget, where she played a lively, optimistic teenager. The role quickly made her a recognizable face in American households and introduced her to widespread popularity at a very young age. Audiences responded warmly to her charm and energy, and she became associated with a bright, wholesome image. However, the success also came with limitations. She was often viewed through a narrow lens, with the industry struggling to see her beyond the light-hearted roles she portrayed. While Gidget brought her fame, it also created expectations that would later feel restrictive. Beneath the public image, she was developing a deeper desire to be recognized for emotional range and dramatic depth. Even as a rising star, she sensed that her journey in acting would require breaking away from the simplicity of the roles that first made her famous. The Flying Nun and typecasting following Gidget, Sally Field, starred in The Flying Nun, a series that further cemented her status as a television icon. The show was widely popular and made her one of the most recognizable actresses of the era. Yet, despite its success, she later described feeling confined by the image it created. The character's whimsical nature and the show's light tone contributed to a public perception that was difficult to escape. At a time when she was growing artistically, she found herself increasingly aware of the gap between how she was seen and how she wished to be seen. This period became a turning point in her career. Rather than continuing along a comfortable but limiting path, she made the difficult decision to step away from steady television work. It was a bold and uncertain move, especially for someone so young, but it reflected her determination to grow beyond typecasting and redefine her artistic identity. Stepping away from Hollywood, choosing to step back from steady work at the height of early fame, was a significant risk. Sally Field turned down roles and temporarily distanced herself from the industry to reassess her direction. During this time, she focused on studying acting more seriously and developing her craft in a deeper, more disciplined way. She joined intensive training programs that emphasized emotional truth and character immersion. The period was not easy. It came with financial uncertainty and professional doubt. Many questioned whether her decision was wise, and there were moments when she herself wondered if she had jeopardized her future. However, this step away from Hollywood became essential in reshaping her career. It allowed her to move beyond surface-level performances and prepare for the transformative roles that would later define her as a serious, dramatic actress. Intensive training and reinvention. During her time away from mainstream television, Sally Field committed herself to studying acting in a more rigorous and emotionally demanding way. She explored techniques that required vulnerability and deep self-reflection. This process was not comfortable, but it was transformative. It allowed her to access emotions and layers of performance that had previously remained unexplored. She began to shift from being seen as a television personality to an actress capable of serious dramatic work. This reinvention required patience and resilience, as success did not come immediately. However, it marked a crucial evolution in her artistic journey. She was no longer willing to be confined by external expectations. Instead, she focused on building a foundation that would allow her to take on more complex and meaningful roles in the future. Sybil breakthrough. Sally Field's performance in Sybil marked a turning point in her career. The television film required her to portray a deeply complex character experiencing multiple psychological identities. It was an emotionally demanding role that showcased her extraordinary range and dedication. Her performance was widely praised and earned her critical acclaim, including major awards recognition. More importantly, it changed the way she was perceived within the industry. She was no longer just a former sitcom star. She was now recognized as a serious, dramatic actress with exceptional depth. Sybil demonstrated her ability to fully inhabit emotionally challenging roles and brought her into a new phase of her career where she was offered more substantial and meaningful opportunities. Norma Ray, an Oscar win. In 1979, Sally Field starred in Norma Ray, a powerful film about labor rights and personal courage. Her portrayal of a determined textile worker fighting for justice resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike. The role required emotional strength and grounded realism, and her performance became one of the most defining moments of her career. The film's success brought her widespread recognition and culminated in her winning the Academy Award for Best Actress. Her acceptance of the award became one of the most memorable moments in Oscar history, reflecting genuine emotion and gratitude. Norma Rae not only solidified her place in Hollywood, but also demonstrated her ability to lead socially impactful and emotionally powerful films. It marked her transition into one of the most respected actresses of her generation. Continued success and iconic roles following Norma Rae, Sally Field continued to build a remarkable body of work. She delivered acclaimed performances in films such as Places in the Heart, for which she won her second Academy Award, and Steel Magnolias, where she portrayed emotionally rich and relatable characters. In Forrest Gump, she played a deeply caring mother figure, contributing to one of the most beloved films in cinematic history. Her role in Lincoln, later in her career, demonstrated her continued relevance and artistic strength. Across decades, she consistently chose roles that emphasized emotional truth, human complexity, and authenticity. Her career became a testament to longevity, built on talent, discipline, and thoughtful selection of work rather than constant visibility alone. Love, marriage, and personal relationships. Sally Field's personal life included meaningful relationships and experiences that shaped her understanding of love and family. She married her high school sweetheart, Stephen Craig, at a young age, and together they had 2 sons. Although the marriage eventually ended, she often spoke about motherhood as one of the most grounding and important parts of her life. Later, she was in a highly publicized relationship with actor Burt Reynolds, which was marked by both passion and emotional complexity. Like many aspects of her life, her relationships reflected both joy and challenge, teaching her important lessons about identity, independence, and emotional boundaries. Over time, she developed a deeper understanding of herself and what she needed in relationships, choosing paths that supported her growth and stability. Reflection, legacy, and strength. Sally Field's legacy is defined not only by her awards and performances, but by her resilience and willingness to evolve. Her journey reflects a continual process of reinvention, shaped by both triumphs and challenges. She has spoken openly in general terms about personal struggles and growth, emphasizing the importance of self-awareness and emotional honesty. Over the decades, she has become a symbol of endurance in an industry that often demands reinvention while offering little stability. Her work continues to resonate because it is grounded in authenticity and emotional truth. At every stage of her career, she has demonstrated the courage to step beyond comfort zones and redefine herself. Sally Field remains an enduring figure in film and television, remembered not just for her roles, but for the depth, humanity, and strength she brought to each chapter of her life.